Good afternoon, experts. Welcome to the Chegg Expert Platform 2.0 webinar for the drawing tool. We will be starting the webinar in a few minutes' time. Meanwhile, there are some ground rules for this webinar which we have put on the screen. We request you to have a look. Thank you. Good afternoon, experts. It's 3 o'clock, time to start with the webinar, so let's get started. First of all, on behalf of Chegg, I would like to welcome you all. My name is Suresh. I'm your host for the day. I'm joined by my co-host Parnas, and from the in-house team, I'm joined by our expert Rohit. For the success of any event, we need a few ground rules. So for this event of ours, this webinar also, there are some ground rules. Let's have a look at them one by one. The first and most important rule is whenever you have any queries for me or for my team, please feel free to put that query in the chat box. My co-hosts will be taking up your queries. They will be answering your queries one by one. Also, a small request to you, please do not copy paste the same query again and again in the chat box, because that will only lead to the spamming of the chat box. So once you have put a specific query across to us, be assured that query will be definitely answered. You can sit back and relax. Also, at the end of the webinar, we will be sharing with you a feedback URL. You can visit that URL and you can share your precious feedback with us. That would be at the end of the webinar. For now, let's get started. So let me first define what is the objective for this webinar. Why are we conducting this webinar? This webinar will help you with your performance and also boost your efficiency when you will be working on the Q&A platform. With this objective in mind, let us also understand what is the agenda for today, what will be covered in the webinar today. So first, I will be giving you an overview of the Expert Platform 2.0. This is our new authoring platform. I will also be telling you how to structure your solutions. It is very important that you structure your solutions, give a step-by-step answer. I'll tell you how to do it. Also, I'll be giving you a live demo. I'll be introducing you to the drawing tool, after which our in-house expert will take over and he will provide some examples on how to use the drawing tool. At the end, we will keep the floor open for a Q&A round, wherein my co-host Parnas will be taking up your queries and he will be answering your queries. So these are the things we will be discussing in the webinar today. Everything important to get you started will be covered. So let us start off by looking at an overview of the Expert Platform 2.0. Now, the new authoring platform is packed with some features which will enable you to create tables, journal entries and T accounts, 3-line simple equations, math equations, code snippets. It will also help you to label images by using some very simple editor tools, as you can see on the screen. Now let's discuss how to structure your solutions. So when you uh, log into the Q&A platform and when you go to the questions window, you will decide that you will answer a particular question and you will click on start answering. When you click on start answering, you will have to first tag the question in the solution window. Tagging question is important. The next step that you will follow is you will provide a structured solution. I'll be telling you how to provide a structured solution from the next slide, in the next slide actually. And after you have tagged your solution, after you have tagged the question, after you have provided a step-by-step solution, finally, the third step would be you would provide the final answer. So these are the three steps that you need to follow. Now, how will you provide a step-by-step solution? I will explain to you now. But for those experts who are wondering, why do you need to provide a step-by-step solution? This is because the students will be able to understand the concept better. Also, it is recommended that you add as many steps as reasonably required in the solution. Also, we have seen that having at least 2 steps leads to a better quality score. So we will request you not to skip any steps, provide a step-by-step answer so that because if you skip any steps, it will attract penalties. It will lead to a dip in your CF score. So at least add 2 steps. Now I'll give you some examples on how to do that. Here is a question in which the student wants us to evaluate square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared, and 3 expressions have been given by which we can find out the values of variables x, y, and z. How do we provide a step-by-step solution to this question? Let's see. So in step 1, you will find out the value of x. In step 2, you will find out the value of y. In step 3, you will find out the value of z. And then in step 4, you will list out the values which you have just found out. So x, y, and z, you will just put the values there in step 4. And then in the final answer, you will provide the final answer for the original expression square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared. So this is the place where you will be putting the final answer. Let's take one more example. So we will be very clear about how to provide a step-by-step solution. Here there is a question, what is a business cycle? Explain the different phases of a business cycle. So first we will provide the definition of a business cycle. The business cycle is a progression of business in phases over time. And then we will attempt the second question, explain the different phases of a business cycle. So for different phases, we will just mention the different phases or stages here: launch, growth, shakeout, maturity, and decline. We are not going to give the explanation here. Here we are just going to mention it. Now, in step 2, we will put out the first phase, launch, and we will give a detailed explanation. In step 3, we will mention the phase 2 and give a detailed explanation, and so on for all the different phases. That is the 5 stages. And once you have done that, in the final answer section, you will provide a summary of the answer. Please bear in mind, this has to be a summary. It should not be a repetition of the explanation that you have provided in the steps previously. And also make sure that you provide this summary in a lucid language, which will be easily understandable for the students. So this is how you will go about providing the answer in a structured manner. Now, let me introduce you to the drawing tool. Now, the drawing tool will help you to insert drawings, illustrations, sketches into the editor. The tool comes fully loaded with a subject template library, all fundamental shape transformation features, text labeling, a freehand drawing tool, and simple snapping and alignment guides. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing this PowerPoint presentation, and I'll take you straight to the uh, answering window, which I have opened. Just give me a minute. I'll just share that screen. And here we are. So this is how the solution window will look like. And here we have the drawing tool. The mouse over effect will say insert an illustration. So just click on that. And you will see that a block has been inserted. Now, the right-hand side, you will see some predefined shapes in the template form. And on the top, you will see there is the various tools on the toolbar. On the left, there is the editing canvas here. Now, if you want to, let us say, insert this particular shape, I'll just click on this on the right-hand side, and it will be inserted. I can now drag it wherever I want to. I can resize it as per my needs. I can also rotate it by clicking on this yellow handle here. And I can also insert multiple shapes. For example, I'll just insert this circle from the right-hand side. I'll just click on that. It will be automatically inserted. And I'll take it, drag it wherever I need to. And I can also reshape it. Now, resize it is what I meant. All right. Now, I can also send this particular object to the back. How will I do that? On the toolbar, you just need to click. First, you click on the object. Then on the toolbar, you click on this tool, send selection to the back. You will see it goes to the back. And if I want to bring it to the front, I'll click on that object and I'll click on this tool, bring selection to the front, and it will come to the front position. I also have the option of grouping these two objects together. How will I do that? I'll just select both these objects with my mouse, and then I will click on this particular tool, which is group selected shapes together. And now it will behave like a single object. Now, if I want to move this particular object, I can either use my mouse and drag it around, or I can also use the forward key, backward key, upward key, and down key on my keyboard. All I need to do is click on the object first and then use the forward and the backward key. Now, in case I want to use a freehand drawing tool that is also available, which is the pencil tool, just click on this, the pencil tool, it will get activated and you can draw a free hand drawing. Now, if I need to delete it, I'll just need to click again on the pencil tool, and then I can just hit the delete key on my keyboard. That's how it will be deleted. I would also like to show you, there are some subject-specific predefined shapes here. For example, you have graph. So I'll just click on graph now. And you will see that this window has opened. Now I'll type, just a minute. Yes. Now I can just search for a particular shape by typing into the search box, or I can choose from the subjects here. For example, I just click here on the left-hand side. I can choose this just for demo purpose. Just click on that graph, click on insert, and this will be inserted. Now I can resize it and I can use it for my needs. If I need to, for example, edit this graph, how will I do it? First, I need to select the graph, and then I need to ungroup it. I told you how to ungroup this before. So you will click on this icon on the toolbar, ungroup, and now I can easily edit it. So I'll click on this, for example, and I can edit it. So this is how you will be using the drawing tool. So this was just an introduction of how to use the drawing tool. Let me just stop sharing this, just a moment. And now I'll just put on the PowerPoint. So this was the introduction to the drawing tool. Now I would like to invite our in-house expert, Rohit. He will be explaining to you the shear force and bending moment diagram. He would be using the drawing tool to draw this wedge friction diagram, plot TS diagram, and XY plot. So Rohit, would you like to take over now?
Yes, thank you, Suresh, for presenting the structured Q&A guidelines and an introduction to the drawing tool. Let me share my screen. Hello, everyone. My name is Rohit, an in-house expert, and I am going to show you how to draw certain figures using the drawing tool and some general tips on how to save time. So first, I will explain how to draw lines, different types of curves, circles, sectors, different plots, and labeling using these examples. So to insert a diagram, first click on Insert an Illustration. First, before starting, please find the pre-drawn shapes present in the library. These are classified based on the subject, and we can use them or edit them accordingly. So these are added to save time to draw certain figures in engineering, calculus, geometry. So the first example I want to show is the shear force and bending moment diagram, which will look like this. So this is mostly used in mechanical and civil engineering, but will also help others to understand how to draw curves, lines, labeling, and using templates. So first, we draw the beam by using the rectangle tool, increase its size, keep it in the center, and then we can find the UDL in the engineering category in subjects. If you scroll down, you can find the distributed load constant, insert it, increase its size, move it here. Now to extend this, you have to copy and paste. So you can use the hotkey Control C to copy and Control V to paste, or you can use these options at the top, copy and paste. So after you paste it, make sure the gap is same like the first and the second arrows. Then what you can do is you can group them. You can hold shift on your keyboard and to click to select multiple objects. So I'm holding shift and left clicking this. So these two will be selected. You can group them. If you group them, you can move all of them at once. Again, you can copy paste them, Control C and Control V. Again, copy paste. So if you just want to copy the single UDL, you have to ungroup them by clicking on this option, ungroup. Then you can again copy paste and move it here. Then you can decrease the size of the beam to accommodate the UDL, and you can add a line at the top so that the UDL doesn't appear to be broken. So after drawing this, we want to give the, you can use the arrow keys to precisely move the line onto the top part of the UDL. Now you want to give the magnitude of the uniformly distributed load. For that, you can use insert math. After double clicking this, you can write the code that you want to insert the magnitude of the UDL, 25 kilonewton per meter. You can decrease its size. Now you can add the reactions by using the arrow key, arrow figure, place it here. So you can easily copy paste this, Control C, Control V, move it here. So this will be reaction at A and this will be reaction at B. For that, you can just copy paste this, move it here. R underscore A is equal to 25. This is 1. And RB will also be the same. Just move it close using the arrow keys. Modify it to RB. We also want to include the length of the beam, which is 10 meters. So for that, just use the double arrowhead tool over here, make it vertical first, and then move it. So you may have noticed that it's easy to make a certain object vertical or horizontal with the snap option. It's going to get snapped to a certain inclination. And then you can click on the blue dots to expand the size. After that, you want to include the length of the beam as 10 meters. For that, you can just insert the text tool here, 10 meters. Place it here. Now you have to draw the shear force and bending moment. For that, you need two vertical lines first. So one more thing is make sure that nothing is there on the left side of the canvas, because whenever we want to insert something, they appear on the left side. So by mistake, we don't want to move another object that lies below this. After that, copy paste this, move it here. Draw a vertical line. You can add some construction lines by placing a vertical line from the midpoint of the beam. And to remember it as a construction line, you can change the line style to dotted line. So now for the shear force diagram, you want this point to coincide with the horizontal line at the midpoint of the this horizontal line. So for that, you again insert a line, put the starting point here and the ending point like this, so that it coincides with this point. And then to draw the bending moment, place a horizontal line like this and use the curve tool. So the bending moment, the curve, it starts on the left side and ends on the right side. So you put this on the left side first, extend it to the right side, and then you use these two dots at the top left and top right, to adjust the shape of the curve. So if you put it this way, it will appear like a parabola, like this. So now you would want to add text to on the shear force diagram and bending moment diagram, something like 25 kilonewtons. And you can always use the copy paste tool, move it here, use the arrow keys to move it at the specified location, and this will be minus 25. And then the same way you can add more text to the bending moment diagram also. So one more feature I want to mention is there is an option to save the diagram. So to save the diagram, you have to first select the object, select the whole diagram. It's better to group it so that it's easier to move. Otherwise, you can't move the diagram as a whole. So after that, you can click on the floppy option here, floppy figure here, and give a name. Something like this. You click on save. And after that, to access this graph again, you go to subjects. Here in the save shapes, the shear force diagram will be given. So you can insert this. This will be present in the upcoming questions also, so that you can save time. So make sure that whenever a generic diagram is drawn by you, you save it so that the next time you can modify that. So in order to modify this, you can also ungroup it. And now you can access individual elements. Or if you want to modify this curve, you can use these dots to do that. Okay, so the next diagram I want to show is the wedge friction diagram. This is mostly used by physics and engineering subjects, but this will help us understand how to modify templates, draw circles or arcs. So let me delete this first. To draw the friction wedge diagram, there is already one present in our templates. After you go to physics, there is something called box on a ramp. So click on it and insert. Increase the size of the diagram first. And now you may notice that there are so many things that you want to modify first. So for that, you have to ungroup them. First thing is you want to change the theta to the lowercase theta. Ungroup. So you can delete this, and to insert theta, click on insert math. Here, just write theta. Drag it here. Sorry. Drag it here like this. And then you can delete all these things because these are, you can again write this using math equation. N is given in text. Text using text tool. So you can move N over here. And since there is friction, you can keep F over here, change it to F to signify friction. Move it. So you can change this the line shape into solid, and you can move this behind this block so that it will show as two separate arrows. So click on send to back. Delete this, and this you can delete. And here you have like mg cos theta, mg sin theta, and another curve, another arc here, which is labeled as theta. So first make this into solid. And now to do the arc, click on the arc tool over here, angle tool. So here what you need to remember is that the green dot can change the radius and the curve, the radius and the angle, and the blue dot only changes the angle. It does not change the radius, and it always goes in a anti-clockwise manner. So from green it starts and it goes towards blue. So to do that, so to get the proper angle shape like this, put the green dot here and move it in an anti-clockwise manner so that it crosses the green dot, and then it makes a shape like this. So to decrease the size of the angle, just click on the green dot and go inward radially. And then you can move this, use the arrow keys, or make it smaller actually. Use the arrow keys to make it precise. Then you can just copy paste theta, paste it here. And you want to label the perpendicular force and the tangential force by using the insert math option. Mg cos theta, copy paste it, move it here. You can label this as mg sin theta. Okay, one more thing is if you want to insert a point over here, you can insert the valve figure, decrease the size so that the X is barely visible. It becomes into a dot, then move it to the center. So this appears to be the center of gravity or the centroid of the block. So this is how it should look like by modifying it. Again, if you want to make it bigger, you have to group them by clicking on this group selected shapes together, and then you can increase the size or if you want, you can rotate by using the yellow dot. So it's always good to complete the whole diagram and then group it so that you can save it in the end also. So another figures that I want to show, this mainly covers the graph aspect, is this XY plot using the curve, and this is a Rankine cycle, the TS diagram of Rankine cycle. So this helps you understand how to draw a plot in general. But before I do that, take a look at the inbuilt shapes. So first, if you want to insert a CPM or Perth diagram, this is the option available, Proofer sequence tree, insert it. So you can move it to the right side and then you can ungroup them, and you can use these circles and lines to draw your own CPM and Perth diagram by taking this as reference. So you can just group them like this. You can Control C and Control V, and make your own diagram like this. So this is one way to do it. Another thing I want to mention is the sine curves, which are present in trigonometry. So if you want to draw a more complicated curve, you can always insert the sine theta graph, cos theta, tan theta from here. And after you ungroup them, you can change the shape of the curve by using these dots. So these dots, these shapes can also be drawn in the shear force and bending moment diagrams to get an accurate representation of the curve. So another one I want to show is the box plot, which is present in statistics. Okay, so this is the box plot. You can move it first, and you can ungroup it, and then you can increase the length of these rectangles like this, and then you can insert the values or the Q1 values over here. You can copy paste and move it here. So you can also draw a horizontal axis using the line tool at the bottom. So one way to divide this line into equal parts is to draw a line tool. First draw a horizontal line and then draw a vertical line. So you can you have to group it first. You can move it, keep it here, then Control C and Control V, and then this actually snaps on the vertical line. So this is one way to draw lines of equal intervals instead of drawing approximately. So this is how you divide the line. And another way, you can draw a vertical line here like this, and then this is the box and whisker plots for statistics. So another thing I want to show is flowcharts. So this is the sample flowchart. Insert it. So this is like just a sample flowchart from start, and then it goes to the end. You can ungroup it by clicking on ungroup option, and then you can take the shapes and you can make your own flowchart. So make sure that you copy and paste so that the initial shape of the flowchart is not disturbed. You can draw the flowchart in any way you want, and then you can click on add text, or you can just directly copy this. So make sure you copy the text later so that it will not go back. Suppose you copy this shape later, and then if you want to move, this is going to overlap the text. So a simple fix is to click on send to back. So that is the layering is something that you have to remember while drawing a figure. And now I would like to draw a plot. So to draw a plot, first insert a curve. Just keep the curve here at the center, and then you want an XY chart. So you can always insert something, an XY chart or an XY chart with equal intervals from here, from the shape library. Click on XY chart, click on insert, increase the size. And here you notice that the curve is inside this box. So there is no way that you can select this curve without selecting the XY axis first. So a simple fix is click on this and click on send selection to back. So after it goes back, now you can select this curve. So to draw a y equal to x square graph, first notice the starting point and the ending point. It starts from the origin and it ends here at the top right. So this curve tool is designed in a way that you have to put the starting point at the origin and then the ending point here. So the shape of the curve changes, so don't worry about that. Now you have to select these dots and then adjust the shape of the curve. So you have to put it horizontally like this, and here you need to move it in a way that it resembles a parabola. So instead of making it completely vertical, we have to make it inclined like this. So this is the curve, and now if you want, you can also decrease the curve intensity at the bottom by using this arrow, using this dot, sorry. And now to label it, just y x. To label the shape of the curve, you can click on insert math and then click on write y equal to x square. Something like this. So this is a simple curve. Whatever curves you draw, make sure that to use the curve option or the sine curve option to make sure that it resembles the diagram in a certain way. And make sure you group them before moving. Another diagram I want to show is the Rankine cycle TS curve, which will look like this. So first, before drawing the curve, just observe the shape of the curve. This curve appears to have a steeper slope on the left side and a milder slope on the right side. So that is also possible by using the curve tool. First, insert the curve tool like this. The starting point is here and the ending point is make it appear here. And now you want to change the length of this blue dot so that it appears as if like it has a steeper slope on the left and milder slope on the right. Something like this. So after you draw this, you have to draw the cycle. So drawing a cycle is not so difficult. Just use horizontal lines and vertical lines, and make sure that you use hotkeys Ctrl C, Ctrl V to speed up the process. So draw a vertical line. Increase the size. Copy the vertical line again. copy this inclined line, move it here. Adjust the length of the line so that they don't appear to be too big. Now to draw the arrows, use this shape arrow, make it small. So the advantage of this is if you move it completely to the left, the shape of the arrow pointing direction also changes. So this is going to snap here. Make sure that the arrow and the line coincide like this. Or if they don't coincide, just use the arrow keys to move it so that it like this. So if it doesn't coincide, just use the arrow keys. They will eventually coincide. Point it up. Move it here. So another thing is you want to label each part like Q in, Q out. So for that, just use the insert math. So if you write Q in here like this, it's going to show a different symbol. So to avoid that, write text like this. So this is a syntax that will be covered in the inline equation or equation rendering tool. Copy paste, move it here. So you can make the same labelings. This is going to be work underscore turbine. And this is going to be work done in a pump. Okay, so this is how you draw. And if you want, you can also use the text tool to label them as 1, 2, 3, 4. So that can be done by using this. Okay. So similarly, you can go with 1, 2, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. So I've been told that I got certain requests to repeat how to draw this y equal to x square graph. I will show you how to draw this curve again. Okay. So first, after you insert an xy axis, you click on curve option here. So this is like a very default shape of the curve. You want something like a parabola. So if you look at y equal to x square graph, the starting point is at the origin and the ending point is here, somewhere at the top right. So then what you do is the bottom dots are present. Make sure that the left dot is at the origin and the right dot should be present somewhere on the top right. So move this here to the top right, place it here like this, and then you want to change the shape of the curve to resemble a parabola. So to do that, you have to use these dots, the dots at the top. So first bring this down. These are like not like the tangents to the curve. So bring this down like this so that the curve at the bottom will look like this, and this you bring it down and move it inside a little bit. So these dotted lines, dashed lines, are nothing but the tangents to the curve. You have to adjust the tangents in a way so that the shape of the curve changes. So this is how you draw y equal to x square graph. And if you want, you can group them and you can increase this. Okay. So another request is to draw equidistant lines. So to do that, the main concept of drawing equidistant lines is because the drawing tool has a feature that it lets you snap to certain areas of the curve. So to draw an equidistant line, first draw a horizontal line like this, then copy paste it, make it small, draw a vertical line, move it here. Okay, make sure that this is at the center. The vertical line is at the center of the horizontal line. Select them both using the shift key and click on group. So after you group them, make sure that this coincides, the horizontal line coincides with the horizontal line present at the top. So then what you do is you select these two, then copy paste. After you copy paste, the left end should snap on the vertical line, the midpoint of the vertical line. So again, do that, snap, copy paste, snap. Otherwise, if you want to save more time, you can just group them and copy paste so that you will get it like this. Again, group them. So then after selecting send to back, and then you can select this line. Yeah, bring to forward. If you want to adjust this line, you have to click on bring to forward, and then you can change the shape, change the length of the line. Okay, so one last thing I want to mention is the shape library. The how to save. So like suppose if you want to save this, you click on the floppy icon here, save drawing, and then you give a name to the shape, something like equidistant lines. Save. So after you save them, this particular drawing is going to be present in the saved shapes. After you click on subjects here, you will get the shape library and everything on all the subjects here. You click on saved shapes. So these are the shapes I have saved. Previously, I have saved the shear force diagram, and here I have saved the equidistant lines. So click on it and you can click on insert. You're going to get this. So to make some changes to it, you can click on ungroup, and then you can again ungroup, and then again ungroup. So this you have to ungroup in the same order as we regroup them, as we group them. So then you can access every individual point and make the following adjustments. Okay, so I hope I have covered everything here, and since we are running out of time, I would like to pass this back to our host. Thank you.
Thank you, Rohit, for that enlightening session. Now I'll pass on the baton to Parnas, who will pick up the Q&A session. Parnas, you're on mute, I think. I can't hear you, Parnas. So just a moment, he will just work on his audio. So my co-host will be taking up the Q&A session now. Please wait with us.
Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience caused. Hi, guys. My name is Parnas Bhardwaj. I belong to LMS team in Czech, and over here I'll be taking some of the questions that you guys have asked. We tried to answer most of the questions over the chat, but here are some handpicked questions that I would be answering over to you. So the first question that we have is from Vaibhav Maheshwari, and Vaibhav wants to ask. So Vaibhav's question is: please provide a smooth rotation, just like arrow tool, for the rest of the tools library available in the drawing toolbox. Vaibhav, most of the tools that are there in the drawing toolbox have rotation feature enabled in them. Also, to make the journey more smooth, we have expand and minimize features in our drawing tools. So that enables the smooth rotation and yeah. Is my voice clear?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. So for most of the tools, we have expand, drag and expand feature, and we can rotate all the shapes 360 degrees. Next question is from Navya. And Navya says that new expert platform 2.0 is good, but there are drawbacks like time limit, unable to edit answer for submitting, and also anatomy diagram is really difficult to draw with the help of drawing tool. So my solution to this, Navya, is yes, I understand it is time taking, but with time you'll be trained well enough to work on EP 2.0 platform. With the diagrams of anatomy, will help you with the diagrams of anatomy, and soon we'll have subject-oriented training sessions over the drawing tools. Next part is for submitting solutions. We recommend you to effectively get yourself trained over the drawing tool, and we are constantly trying our best to improve your experience at the platform. Next question is from Chumki and Prem, and they want to know how we can have pre-filled graphs or templates for expressions like Desmos, etc. So for most of the subjects and most of the relevant topics, we have templates, predefined templates. We are constantly taking your feedback, and we are getting new templates daily. As I talk, daily new templates and predefined graphs are being enabled in our drawing tool, and soon we will be able to see most of the frequently asked diagrams and templates, predefined diagrams and templates over your dashboard. Last question for the day is from Ravi, and Ravi wants to know how can I register, how can I draw a register in a circuit. So for that, you have to enable your electric circuit tool, which is right next to your drawing tool, Illustrator tool, and over there you'll be able to draw your electric circuit and other relevant circuit enabled diagrams on the platform. We'll be having this session again next week, and you'll be communicated for the same. We look forward to meet you again. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Parnas. That was a very informative Q&A session. Now, we are almost at the end of our webinar for today. I would request experts to share your precious feedback with us. So I'll also request my co-host to put the link for the feedback in the chat window so that the experts can visit the link and share their feedback. So there you have the link in the chat box. Please visit this link and share your feedback. I'll just pause for 30 seconds so that you can do it. So please share your feedback. And with this, we come to the end of our webinar for today. I hope we were able to give you some very useful information which will help you in your journey with Czech. I thank you for attending this webinar today, and you have a great evening. Bye.